Good morning, Slop Nation, and welcome to Slop Chop. This is a new podcast hosted by myself, Harvey Mulvihill. It is about the happenings of the internet, and it is your one-stop shop for Slop. Welcome back. Thank you guys for joining me. We have some insane Hollywood news, some like the wildest Hollywood news I've heard in maybe a decade, or one of the biggest business deals of all time, literally of all time. Netflix has decided to purchase or put a bid in for purchase of Warner Brothers, all of their IP and streaming assets, including HBO Max. The bid doesn't include their cable division. They don't want that shit. Netflix is a streaming service, and Warner Brothers covers all kinds of stuff, including like gaming and like merch and all kinds of shit. So I think Netflix is specifically interested in their streaming division and their IP. And it's pretty freaking wild. It's like an $80 billion deal. It's about the same size as the Microsoft Activision Blizzard merger that happened last year. We're talking 80 big ones, brother. 80 freaking billion. My small brain only remembers certain things, and I always like to compare these kind of massive deals to several years ago when Disney acquired Star Wars. They spent $4 billion on that puppy. On Star Wars, which was at the time, a very lucrative and quite possibly the most popular franchise on Earth. And they spent $4 billion on that. And like, you got to think about how many Star Warses or equivalent or similar IP that Warner Brothers has. Let's get a list, shall we? But yeah, it's like, it makes sense when you think about it, because they've got, obviously the DCEU or the DCU now. I mean, James Gunn is going to be a freaking Netflix employee if this goes through, which is nuts. Lord of the Rings, Dune, fucking Wizard of Oz. I mean, look at all these freaking Mad Max, The Matrix, Blade Runner, Minecraft, the Minecraft movie, Lego movie, Barbie, The Shining, The Conjuring, Weapons, Godzilla, Game of Thrones, The Bachelor, Looney Tunes, Friends, The Sopranos, Succession, Euphoria, The West Wing, Gossip Girl, Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso? That must be a co-thing with Apple. I thought that was a for sure Apple property. I mean, Gossip Girl, Big Bang Theory. So many freaking IP. Like, a crazy, shocking amount of stuff. And there's been two sort of prevailing narratives. One is that the end is nigh, and that this is like the last straw for Hollywood. I have a buddy who previously worked for Alamo Drafthouse. As a matter of fact, he's been on this podcast. If you can use your critical thinking skills and figure out who this might be. But he used to work at Alamo, and I was picking his brain about this merger, this massive deal. And he said, if this goes through, it is like the death. It is essentially the death of small theater chains like Alamo Drafthouse. Like, Netflix has absolutely zero incentive to give movies of any kind a wide theatrical release. It is actually taking away from their bottom line. If people go to the theaters to see movies, they're not seeing movies on Netflix. And the CEO of Netflix, Ted Sarandos, has been very vocal about his departure from the previous model, the model that most us movie folk love so well, which is the go to the theater and watch a movie with a bunch of people thing. That like community aspect, get out of your house, go see a movie, especially big movies, dude. Like, one of his quotes was he thinks Oppenheimer and Barbie would have been the same. They would have had the same sensation if they both premiered on Netflix, which I don't know if I buy that, brother. Going to the theater to watch those two movies in the same day was such a big cultural thing, because it was, a community. Like, it's like you get together with your folks and you go do a thing. It's so different if you're just staying at your house, secluded, and watching it with your wife or boyfriend or whatever. It's just it doesn't ring the same way. So I don't know. There's people in Hollywood are declaring this, like, are hitting the freaking big red button of declaring a state of emergency. The Directors Guild of America is already meeting I think this has already happened. The Directors Guild of America has met with Warner Brothers to express their extreme concerns about this deal. It's pretty freaking wild. So, I mean, like, what happens if Netflix gets all this stuff is that there's a giant chunk, one of the big 5 studios. Remember, there were, for the longest, 5 major studios. And if they just take over, if they eat one of them, suddenly there's 4 major studios, right? And what I don't know is Paramount is the other big player in this whole kerfuffle. And they also have like the same sort of operational status. Their argument is that if Netflix gets this deal through, they're approaching alleged monopoly territory because they have so much market share already in the streaming world. And Paramount does not. Paramount Plus has like 0.01% of all streaming dollars, you know? So they're like, yeah, if we take HBO, you're just combining like 0.01 with 3%. And then suddenly we have 3.01%, which is less than Netflix's proposed 44% or whatever. Like Netflix has 37% right now, which is just barely under that like monopoly legal definition. And then if they acquire HBO, suddenly they are over that legal definition. But I don't think people, especially our administration, I don't think people give a shit about monopolies or really care about antitrust stuff. So I don't think that would be the main like that. They're going to argue that point to make the tide hopefully turn in their favor. But it's not going to be that stops this deal from happening, in my opinion. I know very little about this. I find it fascinating, and the theater of it is crazy. Yeah, it's just freaking wild. I mean, like this is the think about this come up story and the Hollywood come up story of this little company that used to sell envelopes. They used to mail people envelopes with DVDs in them, and they were the first to get into the streaming game, and it's so powerful as a company to be first in line for the thing. It's so powerful. Had time and time again when there's an emerging market of any kind, in tech specifically though, if you're first in line, you have so much power and people just kind of revert to you. I don't know any people in my life that don't have a Netflix subscription, or at least steal one from their family. So like everyone has Netflix. It's like, it's a thing. Another interesting tidbit that I read is going to be a whole hour full of just tidbits that I've read. Another tidbit is that Netflix considers their biggest competitor not HBO or Amazon, but Google. Why? Because Google owns YouTube. And in terms of hours and time spent watching, they are the closest competitor. YouTube edges them out. I think it's pretty similar, actually, shockingly. I figured YouTube would be like crazy high compared to Netflix, but I think they're kind of neck and neck or right in line. So their argument against this antitrust thing is like, no. It's not that if we absorb HBO and have like 2 streaming services under one company, it's not actually a monopoly because we're competing with YouTube. We're not competing with fucking Tubi or Amazon Prime. Okay. I'm like, yeah, I guess you could make that argument. I mean, that's like some lawyery bullshit hogwash. I mean, I can see where you're getting at, but no one thinks of you as a competitor to YouTube. You know, no, you're a totally different thing than YouTube is. Just a moment. Yeah, no one thinks of YouTube as a Netflix competitor. You know, Netflix is the king of television and movie streaming. They're not the king of fucking slop. You're not finding a fucking Defunct Land or Jenny Nicholson on Netflix.com. Okay, you're gonna find them on YouTube.com. I have a coworker in the immersive entertainment world, and we were talking to him, and he said that he was on a couple things. Well, he's in the immersive entertainment world, and I was asking him about his previous projects, and he said that he's worked for Disney and Universal, and he did Disneyland and then a bunch of stuff in Disney World. And then that was like in recent years, he was working at Disney World. And I was like, hey, did you happen to work on Galactic Star Cruiser? And he's like, yep. Yes, I did. I said, oh, intriguing. He's like, tell me more. And he said, like, essentially it was a big, like a massive heartache situation and a tough thing for everyone involved. And he was like, yeah, if you want a really good breakdown of the whole thing, there's this like 4-hour YouTube video. And I go, Jenny Nicholson. He goes, Jenny Nicholson. I was like, she's like my favorite YouTuber. And he said, yeah, I'm right there with you. And I was at some premiere and she was there and I was fangirling out super hard. So shouts out to Jenny Nicholson. What was I talking about? Netflix, Warner Brothers acquisition, biggest deal of the freaking calendar year, perhaps of the past, at least since the Microsoft Activision Blizzard thing. $80 billion freaking dollars, brother. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. All right, so Netflix. By the way, I'm shocked that this entire thing is going through at all. There was Larry Ellison, who is the guy that owns Paramount. Larry, let me get my facts straight here. Cent billionaire. My God, I've never heard of that term before. He's a cent billionaire, which means that he has 100 billion freaking dollars. Is it his son who owns Paramount? Son. David Ellison. Yes, David Ellison is also a cent billionaire. My God, these fucking people. Hundreds of billions of dollars. Good Christ. Yeah, so he's Paramount. Okay. So this rich fuck is the CEO of Paramount, and he was the one who started this whole ball rolling. He was the one who softballed. He apparently just approached Warner Brothers after seeing the sort of decay of Warner Brothers over the past couple of years and their constant cutting things for taxes and struggling to turn a profit. Even with like this really big successful year they've had this past year, 2025 has been very successful for them. It doesn't account for the amount of debt they've taken on. And so they're struggling. They've been struggling for the longest. So David Ellison, Larry Ellison's son, both of these people are $100 billion havers. This guy started approaching Warner Brothers like low key under the table, like, hey man, I could buy your company if you'd like. I would buy your company if you want for like, I don't know, like 40 billion, 30, 40 billion. I would take your company. And so after that happened, David Zaslav, CEO of Warner Brothers and the devil himself, realized that there was interest and that he could start a bidding war. So the Paramount is are the people who got the ball rolling and started this whole thing from taking place. But had Warner Brothers just agreed to their original position, they would have sold for half of what they're proposing now. It's crazy. So like just by doing that, just by like poking Warner Brothers and being like, hey, would you like to be owned? Would you like to be owned by us? They doubled the price tag. So, I mean, there's obviously it doesn't happen at all if you don't approach them. So, but I don't know if there's a way to have, signed something legally binding. I don't know. I have no idea how you could have avoided that from happening, but it is like a monkey's paw situation where now they are, oh fuck, I've had this water bottle in frame the whole time. God damn it. Now they are in fact in favor of selling the company, but you got to compete with Netflix and Comcast. Those are the big three right now. And so this all happened, whatever. The news broke that they were up for bid, up for whatever you want to call that. They were for sale. They put a big for sale sign in the front lawn, and they had three basically main bidders. Paramount, crucially, is down to buy the whole company, including their cable division and their gaming division and all kinds of the other shit, right? Netflix don't want none of that shit. Netflix just wants the IP and the streaming, right? So when those two options are put on the table, you think you'd go with the one who's trying to buy the whole thing, so you don't have to continue running this shell of a company that's soon to fail. You know what I mean? So it's crazy to me that they went with Netflix. And the reason they went with Netflix is because the price tag was higher. I could find the numbers, but I don't really care. Basically, the price tag is higher. And that's why they went with Netflix. They think that the deal makes more sense over there. So they're going with Netflix. Cut to today. At time of recording, which this will be like 2 days ago now. Freaking Paramount is doing a hostile takeover, like a hostile bid takeover. They're approaching Warner Brothers stockholders and saying, we want you to vote on whether or not to accept the Netflix deal or go with us. And if they get the majority vote, then Warner Brothers is forced to go with Paramount and not go with Netflix as the board of trustees would have preferred. So that's why it's called a hostile takeover. And it's fucking straight out of Succession. It's literally Succession in real life. I'd never heard of such a thing until I watched Succession. And it's like a super freaking crazy, ballsy move. And potentially dangerous. Why exactly is a hostile takeover? So I get why it's controversial, because you're forcing the hand of the company that you're trying to buy, and it's potentially a a bad blood situation, a shit stirrer, a massive shit stirrer, where if you're a guy, all right, how do we make this a metaphor? Let's say you're a guy, right, and you want to buy a piece of land, perhaps a house, and there's like a family of mice living underneath the house, right? And the homeowner who sleeps in the house is aware of this family of mice. They're kind of a nuisance, but they also it's like have you seen Mousetrap, that Gore Verbinski film masterpiece? It's like that, where he's building a little room. He's like a sentient mouse, and he's got a little room in there, and he's very cute, and he improves the property value, just because it's adorable. He's like very smart, this mouse, and he's got a whole family, right? It's not just him in there. So anyway, you want to buy this house, and like the owner decides that he doesn't want to sell it to you. He's like, fuck you. I would sell it to you if you paid me like 13% more than what you're paying now. And you're like, that's outside of my price range. All right, well then fuck you. Then I'm going to sell it to this guy who's in the business of leveling homes and putting like project homes, apartments. I'm going to sell it to the guy who's putting up project home apartments, because his bid is 13% higher than yours. And you go, what the fuck, dude? That's like really bad for this whole neighborhood. That's really bad for this whole neighborhood. And I don't want you to do that. So therefore, I'm going to ask the family of mice living in your house what they think about this situation. Because if I buy the house, I'm just going to use it as a house. But if you sell it to those people, they're going to level it and build a skyrise, gaudy, slop-filled, kind of bland, flat lighting. This is fucking potentially questionable what I'm doing. Yeah. So anyway, you get my metaphor, right? So then let's continue with the metaphor. The mice come to the conclusion after, so like the two options here with this metaphor are that the mice come to the conclusion that the project's idea is actually better for them and in their best interest, because they get a little piece of the cheese. I'm losing my metaphor a bit. Well, because if the homeowner gets paid more, then they have more cheese to give to the mice family. But their entire livelihood is also potentially at stake. So there's your argument. There's your metaphor. I think it works perfectly. I think it's rock solid and completely flawless. And I think that I should probably go into some sort of literary academia I could be teaching what I know to these to some not quite as intellectually powerful people. So anyway, this whole thing is fucking crazy. It is crazy and exciting and potentially scary for small theater chains, but I'm not one of those. I'm not a small theater chain, so I don't know. I'm kind of I don't know. I got no opinion. I have no opinion, and my metaphor was actually about something else. My metaphor was about something entirely different, and I remain completely neutral to this entire endeavor. A neutral third party, some might say, with no skin in the game. All right, let's fucking move on. Jesus Christ. All right. Guess what I just did? Sloppers? I just got out of a freaking movie. I went to a movie theater and I saw Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair. Hot diggity damn. Okay, so I'm stoked. Usually we do like what have I been watching at the end of the episode. Right now I'm jumping right ahead, okay? Because TVH, I'm stoked on it, brother. I just walked out of the theater like a half hour ago. And by the way, one of the greatest SpongeBob jokes of all time that I freaking still to this day reference. Patrick looks at his, what time, Patrick, what time is it? It's about a hair past Freckle. Come on, dude. A hair past Freckle? That's really good. It's very good. All right. SpongeBob was great, huh? SpongeBob is one of those things. There's very few properties like this. I think I've probably mentioned this before, but another one is Calvin and Hobbes, which I have on the shelf behind me. It's covered up by my gigantic body, where I've literally never encountered a single human being who doesn't like that property. You know what I mean? Like I've encountered 0 humans who don't like Calvin and Hobbes. I've encountered 0 humans who don't fuck with SpongeBob. That's powerful, dude. And obviously it's fallen off. Calvin and Hobbes didn't have the opportunity to fall off because Bill Watterson just quit while he was ahead decades ago. Smart move. Did I tell you guys, by the way? Look at this. So Bill Watterson, by the way, we're talking about Calvin and Hobbes now. Fuck you. Kill Bill can wait. Bill Watterson has done no work since when did Calvin and Hobbes stop? When did Hobbes end? 95. Holy shit. Okay, so Bill Watterson stops writing Calvin and Hobbes in 1995, 1 year after I was born. It is crazy that I grew up with it the way that I did, because that shit is like not my generation. I mean, my parents introduced it to me when I was young, and I fell in love with it through the weekly comics in the Sunday paper, and also just from the giant volumes of comics that my parents would buy me. It was like great early reading material. It was funny. It was wholesome. It was I didn't understand all of it. There's tons of stuff that's like very adult oriented, not suggestively, more so just like intellectually. Like Calvin be spitting some fucking like Michi level philosophy sometimes, which is cool. I mean, like the whole thing is very cool. But by the way, okay, so Bill Watterson hasn't released a thing since 1995. Calvin and Hobbes, one of the all-time most beloved franchises. You can't even call it that because of my next point. Calvin and Hobbes, one of the most beloved comic strips of all time. Cut to Bill Watterson being approached by every single media outlet on planet Earth for the past 2 decades or longer, however long, 3 decades. Jesus Christ, 3 decades. For the past 30 years, he has been approached by Disney and Universal and insert third one here. I cannot think of a more surefire hit than a Calvin and Hobbes animated movie or show or something, especially years ago when this would have been, fresh in the pot. And every single time he has said no. He has just stuck to his guns, said no. I'm not doing that. I'm not adapting it. I cannot imagine the amount of money they offered this man. Cannot imagine. It has to be crazy. But he's still just writing. He's made enough money. And in the years past, with the comic strip and all the books and all the things, he's made his money. He doesn't need it, right? So he's just said no. He's like, and the sweetest, I saw one interview where he was like, yeah, everyone in their head has an idea of what Calvin sounds like. And if you put that into a piece of media, suddenly that's ruined for everyone, which is very sweet. But the dude has like just this remarkable integrity. I would have sold out in 1 second. I would have sold out immediately. Brother, Illumination is trying to make a fucking Minion style dog shit ass Calvin and Hobbes movie, and they're trying to pay me, I don't know, $6 million for the rights. I'd be like, yup. Yes, go right ahead. Or, I would shop it around, maybe get someone with some creative juice in their junk. Like get a fucking Lord and Miller from Spider-Verse, get them on the project. They did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which is also excellent. They could do Calvin and Hobbes. I guarantee it. They'd fucking kill it. And still no, I'm not doing it. So what's probably going to happen is he's going to die soon. And then his greedy, awful children will sell the property at day 2. They'll wait 1 day for sentimental reasons and also because it'd be rude to sell literally the day that he dies, but they'll wait till the day after. It's like in between when he died and when the funeral happened. They're gonna sell it. They're gonna sell it to fucking Disney for like, I don't know what it's worth. What is Calvin and Hobbes, the property, worth in big 2025? It's not 9 figures. Is it? I don't think so. Maybe like 80 million. That's probably high, but they'd overbid it just to like a little sign of like tip of the cap. 80 million. That's my guess. Yeah, they're going to sell it for $80 million the day after he dies and the day before the funeral happens. So we're looking forward to that because they'll slopify it and make they'll Star Wars it and put just 3 different new shows on Disney Plus a year and 1 movie that will come out and bomb. So that's exciting. Looking forward to that. But the reason I brought it up is because Bill Weatherford, what the fuck is his name? Bill Watterson has not made anything, not released anything in the past 3 freaking decades until this year, 2025, when he released a little book called The Mysteries. And it's wacky, dude. It's weird. Bill Watterson and John Cashed, and it's like creepy and very minimal story. Look at this. Just to give you an idea, this is like the level. This is the level of authorship that we're dealing with. It's like 1 sentence per page and a giant picture. So it's essentially like a kid's story, but it's creepy. So I don't know how you read it to kids. It's spooky and weird. The art style reminds me a lot of What We Do in the Shadows. What the hell is that fucking thing called? What the hell is that called? When the dark was something. Are You Afraid of the Dark? What's that book series called? You know what I'm talking about. I'll put it right there. God, I hate it when I give future me editing work to do. It's the worst. I gotta stop doing that. Yeah, but the creepy fun art style, very strange to come back to this. Maybe it's like a reflection of where its head is at. It'd be funny if he just wrote it and not illustrated it. That would be humorous because the illustrations are literally 90% of this thing. But anyway, interesting. I bought it out of pure curiosity. It was $20, which is probably too much for this because it took unironically 5 minutes to read. So that's The Mysteries. Shouts out to The Mysteries. And shouts out to Bill Weatherford. I don't know why I'm calling him that. Shouts out to Bill Weatherford for never selling out, man. That shit's really cool and very impressive and something that I would never do ever. If I ever make this a freaking schmeckle of money, brother, I'm selling out immediately. So looking forward to doing that. You gotta just sell out completely, and then you can rein it back in. Do a Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
My name is Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Do that where you are a quintillionaire because of the 85 movies that you've done that are hugely popular, and then you go, maybe I should actually make decent art and not utter corporate slop every year. Maybe I should actually try to act instead of just show up and talk to Kevin Hart. Yeah, fair enough. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I do that all the time and no one knows what I'm referencing. That interview, by the way, where Kevin Hart and The Rock play each other, they like imitate each other. Absolute gold. The best thing that The Rock has ever been a part of. I'm no fan of that man. I think that he sucks. I think he's a bad actor, and I could not give less of a shit about that fucking boxing movie. I was gonna watch it just purely because it's a Safdie brothers situation, but it's the less talented Safdie brother, and it's not starring a twink that I want to ejaculate into. Oh boy. No, I'm very much looking forward to Marty Supreme on Christmas Day. That's coming out with the talented Safdie brother. Josh Safdie, I like as an actor. I don't think he's that much of a director from what I understand about the movie. I haven't seen it though, so no shade to Benny Safdie. After shade, that's what you got to say after you just deliver a lot of shade to someone, is just say no shade, bro. So back to Kill Bill. I got to tell you, that's I think that's one of the best movies ever made, in my humble opinion. I think that seeing them together, 1 and 2 combined, I think it's a freaking, yeah. I mean, I guess you could say it's flawed, but it's the best. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I fucking love it. It's hard for me. People always say they like Volume 1 better, which is fair. It's the action-y one. But I've never considered them. This is going to sound real pretentious. I've never considered them two films. To me, they're just the same. They're one part of an equal whole. Yeah, I think they are. And like the second one is so much slower and so much more meditative. And the final confrontation with Bill is literally a conversation. It's not an epic battle. You like, in terms of action, you peak at midway or towards the end of Volume 1, which would be Act 1 if you're talking about the whole situation, the whole thing, right? And then Act 2 would be like the end of Volume 1 into the beginning of Act 2. Fuck me, you know what I'm talking about. But the action is not the climax of the thing. It's like this understanding that takes place in Volume 2 is so cool. I love the philosophy that they're spitting at each other. I love Tarantino's writing so much. It is so compelling. He is the most compelling writer. And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It is so strange to me that he is an utter autist in real life who is frankly insufferable to listen to in interviews. Insufferable. He has Asperger's. He's like an Elon Musk or something, where good for you that you have a mentally thing and it's not your fault. You're just as good of a human being as blah, blah, blah. I can't listen to you. I can't do it. I don't possess the inner strength to listen to you talk because it's so cringe inducing to me. But you make incredible art and you write incredible dialogue. So how come you can't talk like that? When you put pen to paper, you have this like extremely interesting point, counterpoint, philosophical angle. Like, here's an example. Here's a story that sets up what I'm trying to get at. It's just so good. It's so well written. It's like, again, he's my favorite director, mostly because of his dialogue. You're just glued to the screen when characters are just talking to each other. I watched it with 2 friends of mine, one of which hasn't seen The Hateful Eight. I fucking love I love The Hateful Eight so much. I literally love all of his movies, with the exception of Jackie Brown because of all the black people. No, I'm just kidding, but it is the most boringest one. It's either people's least favorite or favorite, and it's my least favorite by far. I will never say that it's bad. It's not bad. It's good. He's never made a bad film. Second least favorite is Death Proof. But if you combine Death Proof with the other one for Grindhouse and you watch them both back to back, it's a freaking blast. So I don't know what to tell you. And also, it's not bad. Again, I like Death Proof. I like it a lot. I just, in terms of like other incredible cinema, brother, but anyway, I'm a Kill Bill guy. Okay. And this man wears his influences on his sleeve. Some might say that it's a little steely. It's a little Steely Dan. He's a little Fifi, where he kind of just takes shit and he puts it in his thing and he makes it his own. But I like that. I like that because I'm also a grabber of ideas and whatnot. You know, I like grabbing stuff. And my move, this is, if you have, by the way, if you're this person, by the way, it's like I'm very much trying to not be the person who's just parroting takes that they heard on another podcast or another piece of information. But at the end of the day, I am what I am, and I consume what I do consume, and I regurgitate a lot of the shit that I hear, and I put my own kind of flair on it, right? The only time that and then my move is when it's someone else's idea, you just credit them, you just say it's their thing. I'm pretty good at that, working on getting better at that. The biggest, most egregious thing for me is like stealing a joke, where the other day, it's actually happened last week when Nick was here. What was the joke? It was a Tim Dillon joke. Yes. So we were talking about Klarna, and he mentioned fucking he mentioned people like putting like Klarna-ing Taco Bell, and I said they're putting a crunch wrap on layaway. And I was about to say, like, I said it with the intention of following it up with that's a Tim Dillon line, and then the conversation just moved on and I never got to say it. I felt so guilty about stealing that joke from Tim Dillon without fucking giving him credit. So that was a Tim Dillon joke last week. I apologize for being a thief. But, you know, I had every intention of speaking up and saying that it was from Tim Dillon. Putting a crunch wrap on layaway is a very, very funny sentence. Yep. So yeah, that's the move. Is just you say the thing, you say the joke, you get the laugh, and then you just credit them later. So it's the best of both worlds. You're not a thief, and you just basically use their material for your own devices. So that's really the best way to go about it, in my opinion. So Tarantino does that, or maybe he doesn't even give credit. He probably just does it. He gives credit in like podcast form, or when he's doing interviews, he's like, yeah, you got to check out this Japanese film called Ishi Ushu. You gotta check out this Japanese film from the 1920s. It's silent. It's called Ishi Bushi Nushu, and it's fantastic. It's incredible. It's groundbreaking. It's 6 hours long with a 30-minute intermission, but you have to kind of watch the intermission because there's actually plot details that come up during the intermission. So it's about 6 hours long, and it's really interesting. It's like kind of a feudal exercise about the strengths of power. And I wish that I was the type of cinephile that could really appreciate those types of films and really just kind of meditate in the thing. There's a movie called Satan Tango. It's literally 7 hours long. Literally, and apparently it's great. I ain't never gonna watch that shit because it's 7 hours long. Cut some of that. Make that 3 movies, please. Satan Tango, I think it's called. But yeah, stuff like that. And then I'll, every time I would try to watch a silent film, I fall asleep. And I just can't do it. I can't do it, brother. It's boring. Shit's boring, brother. Get more interesting, please. Wouldn't it be crazy if Dune 3 just comes out on Netflix? I'm still thinking about this Warner Brothers thing. That's just wild, bruh. That's just wild. Yeah, but anyway, Kill Bill is just the best thing ever created by a person. I love it so much. It's such a beautiful homage to those samurai type movies, Shaw scope type movies. And yeah, it's the best, man. It's the best. So shouts out to Quentin Tarantino. It's so strange that you did this part 3 in Fortnite. It's so weird that you did that. It's very, very strange. Apparently they showed the Fortnite short film at the end of the credits, but we didn't say that long because the movie was already 4.5 hours long and we wanted to leave. So we left. But I love it, brother. I love it. It's in my top 10, Kill Bill. Like, I fucking just love it so much. Oh, they added some shit. So a couple things that they changed about Volume 1 and 2. They take away the cliffhanger at the end of Volume 1 and the intro at the start of Volume 2. So Volume 2 intro is just a recap of Volume 1. Volume 1 cliffhanger, at the very, very, very end, they ADR David Carradine Bill saying, is she aware that her daughter's still alive? And then cut to credits. They take that out. So then you don't know until she knows that her daughter's alive at the freaking very end in like the literal last act of the film, which is makes for a totally different experience. It's pretty wild. They also add a like 8-minute chunk into the middle of the animated portion, which was bad. It was too long. So like the animated, I've gushed about the anime portion of Kill Bill Volume 1 for a long time. I fucking love it. I think it's so cool that he got away with it. There's a 10-minute animated chunk right in the middle of your live action film. It's actually towards the beginning. It's so ballsy, so crazy. And I love it. I love it. And it was significantly trimmed down, apparently, or clearly, because there's a new 7-minute chunk. It's also possible they added the 7-minute chunk after release, but that doesn't seem right to me. It seems like they edited the whole or animated the whole thing and then cut the middle of it out, which was a wise decision. Every time that I see an extended release film, with the exception of perhaps The Lord of the Rings, I just love. No. I watched Two Towers recently, the extended version, and I was like, this shit has got to go. You got to stop cutting back to these fucking tree people. It is insane how much tree people we get in the extended edition. It's like 40 minutes. It's fucking so annoying. But yeah, so okay, then fuck the Lord of the Rings extended editions too. I still always watch them because I like existing in that world for longer. But brother, tighten that shit up, bruh. And when you make the decision to cut something, it's probably painful as a filmmaker, but it's almost always the right decision. Every single time that I see a deleted scene, I go, ugh, yeah, I don't like. I've never once seen a deleted scene and been like, fuck, man, why wasn't that in the movie? It's never happened to me. Every single time I'm like, yeah, no, you made the right call there. That was redundant or unnecessary or another adjective. It was mid. So yeah, I agree. The middle chunk of that animated portion, it just drags out too long. It becomes repetitive and annoying. But the original cut of the film, that's the only thing that I would change about the whole bloody affair, is that I would cut the 7 minutes out of the animated portion. Because I love not having the cliffhanger at the end of episode 1, because it totally, again, you find out when the bride finds out that her kid is alive at the very end. That's the only thing I would change. There's another cool thing. So in episode 1, to get around the MPAA, they had to cut to black and white for the Yakuza fight with the Crazy 88, the famous yellow jumpsuit fight. They cut to black and white for about, I'm guessing, 6 minutes. 6 minutes, Slim Shady. In order to not get an NC-17 rating. And it also just plays kind of stylistically very cool. It's interesting that she closes her eyes and then it cuts to black and white and she closes her eyes again and it cuts back to color. And I kept waiting for that moment. I kept waiting for the moment for her when she closes her eyes to cut to black, and it didn't happen. It never happens. So in this version, it's totally in color. And it is, they also add, there's some stuff that they cut out, gore that they cut out of the original version. So they not only flipped it to black and white, but they also had to cut out, like, at one point she pulls an eyeball out, which kind of ruins the surprise for later, or for Act 2. So I'm glad they cut that. But there's just just you kind of egregious shots of gore, just like kind of semi-egregious shots of gore that are fun. And that scene is a fucking bloodbath, and it rips. It's so fucking cool. And then they go out into the snow for that final confrontation. And they have that the water fountain that fills up with water, and they goes. I can't even take that sound, but you know what I'm talking about. God, that's so cool. Such a great touch. Apparently, that was heavily inspired by Lady Snowblood, which I have on the shelf right there. It's in my to be watched Criterion list. It's on my list. It's on my fucking list. Well, then watch it. All right, you're right. Fuck. Dang it. Problem is that movies are long. Now I get what people are, now that I have a full-time job. I'm like, yeah, bro, movies are fucking long. It's tough to commit to 2.5 hours a night to a thing. But then you doom scroll for 2.5 hours. Okay, yeah, you're right. But it feels different. It feels like bite-sized. Sitting down and committing to a film feels like a whole task, you know? I just got to do it more often. I got way too many fucking movies to watch, brother. Way too many movies to watch. I got to do it more often. Every time that I do, I'm happy that I did. That's not true. That's definitely not true. No, it's frequently untrue. Yeah, that's utter bullshit. Most of the time, when I sit down to watch a film, I'm happy that I did. And it is borderline meditative to sit down and stop looking at my fucking phone. It's a problem. The phone is a problem. I'm going to take my own life. I'm addicted to my phone. Hey man, you should start a podcast about slop then. Yeah, you're right. Speaking of which, brother, there's not a whole lot of slop this week, honestly. What else can we talk about that has happened in the past 7 days? The Warner Brothers thing is just the craziest. I mean, legitimately the craziest shit. Latest news. Let's ask Grok what the latest news is. Oh yeah, Luigi's back in the news. Luigi Mangione, the guy who killed Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO last year. He went to court and he's hot. So that's the story. He's hot and he's in court and he killed a guy. Allegedly, but for sure he definitely did on camera. But he's the only hot murderer, and maybe there's one other one. People say fucking what's his name, Bundy was hot. Dude's like a solid 5. He's maybe you could call him hot for a serial killer. He's the hottest serial killer, but he is, I mean, generally ugly. If you showed me that guy in a lineup, or if that guy was driving a bus, no one is like stopping and wooing. It's just because of his profession. And he's good at his job, I guess. You got to give it to him. You don't go down and they don't make a Netflix series about you unless you're not great at what you do. And I admire the tenacity of the work, but I don't think he's hot. Luigi's probably going to get a Netflix documentary also because of the public interest. And that's his whole thing, is that he's hot. So, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Are there other hot killers? I've got this dry cough. It's fucking killing me. Think I have COVID? Do you guys have COVID? Is COVID still a thing? Luigi feels like he kind of murdered 2 things. He murdered a United Healthcare CEO and also the COVID virus. I haven't really heard about COVID since that whole thing went down. Have you? I might have it right now. If so, I've just been going to work every single day willy-nilly and spreading it to all the people. But, you can't call out of a job that you kind of just started 2 months ago. Someone told me 90 days. 90 days before you do anything questionable. You got to like lock in for 90 days and prove that you're a good employee. And then you can start taking naps and start calling out. So excited to call out for the next several weeks when I'm recovering from long COVID and the brain fog and the dry cough and the AIDS. I already had AIDS. Luigi is hot and he killed a guy. That's the story. He's back. Luigi's back. He's hot and he killed the guy. That's going on his tombstone. As you all know, I have a broad definition of slop. I consider anything slop. Media of any kind. And I'm doing my best to read a fucking book right now. And the reason I'm reading is because it's written by Louis C.K., my goat. It's called Ingram, and it's great so far. I've read about 6 or 7 chapters, and it's good. It's very, very good. I'm enjoying it quite a bit, and what it has done to me, finally picking up a book after at least a year. This is the first book I've read in a long time. It's made me realize how powerful my phone is, because I will choose the phone at every opportunity, even though I'm really enjoying the book. It's not that the book is bad, but I'm not in the habit of sitting down and reading at night, which you don't build a habit by just wanting to do it. You have to actually try to fucking do it. So it's tough. I don't know. I'm enjoying the book, but I would love to get back into reading, dude. I feel like it will just improve a lot in my life and get me off the phone more and improve the vocabulary, make me a better podcaster. Because there's so many times when I'm struggling to think of a word or a phrase or a noun, a verb. I couldn't tell you the difference. Noun is person, place, or thing. Verb is... I couldn't tell you what a fucking verb is. I should read a book. You know? Maybe I'll learn what this fourth grade ass English class concept is. What's a verb? Verb is like at or as or were, maybe? I don't know. Fuck. I think noun is person, place, or thing. God damn it, I'm stupid. Jesus Christ. Well, it's because the school system is just outrageously. I mean, it's too woke. It's too woke. School is too woke. They're teaching me about pronouns and being gay, and not about words. That's what it is. So fuck the schools, and I am voting for Trump for a third term. And I gotta tell you, I got pretty much nothing left. I got nothing. So what do we do in times like this when we need to stretch time? We haven't done this in a long time. How about we do some bit fishing? Remember this? All right, so here's what bit fishing is for those who don't know. This is an extremely painful and embarrassing process where... So here's what I do. Let's say you're me, right? And you're me, and you're walking down the street and you think of something funny. You write it down into a notes app, and then you never do anything with it ever again. You write it down so you don't forget it, and then you just proceed to forget it because you don't ever do anything with it. So then the idea is, what if you just say the thing out loud on a podcast, and then it can live somewhere if nothing else ever happens to it, right? For the purposes of this, for our purposes today, I will attempt not to cut around this. I will simply, so if you see a cut, or eagle-eyed listeners might hear a cut in here. If you hear that, it's because it was too bad. It was too cringe, and I couldn't handle it, and I couldn't spin it to funny. So here we go. We're going to just try. Let's start at the top, shall we? This is my most recent thing I've written down. Oh boy. You're getting a glimpse into the mind of Harvey. You never hear about one person clicks. That's the John click. Okay, could be something. Could be something. If you don't have anything nice to say, fuck off and kill yourself. That's funny. Oh, what if instead of the lock-picking lawyer, it's the lock-picking faggot? That's humorous. This would be a great exercise if I had some other human in this room, so I'm not just shouting these to the void. My God. Oh, yeah. Okay, I thought this would be kind of a funny, like, video series. Just ego fantasies, because I have those all the time. So this is what I imagine everyone at the gym is thinking when I go to get a paper towel to clean off my elliptical. So yeah, so here's the thought process that happens every single time. By the way, I'm picturing that everyone's thinking about me, obviously, because I'm at the gym and I'm me. I'm me. So everyone's looking at me and wondering what I'm doing. So anyway, I sweat quite a bit because I'm fat as shit. And so every time I get off the elliptical or the treadmill, I walk away from my device and I picture everyone going, oh, what? That guy's not going to clean his freaking treadmill. He clearly sweat all over it. And then I go, wait. No. See, you see that I was walking over to the paper towel dispenser and I'm coming back with paper towels and some spray to clean my device because I'm a hero. Don't you feel foolish now? Yeah. And then everyone behind me is just like, oh God, I'm such a dick. That guy's so nice and so sweet and so caring about his gym and us, broadly us, because we're part of this community as well. I'm going to go suck him off. I'm going to suck that guy off. All right. Moving right along. Oh yeah, it was another video sort of idea. I might actually do these. Maybe. We'll see. This is like a spokesperson from A24. Okay, so here's the idea. It's like a press release from A24. Okay. and it's like, "Hi, I'm A24," and it's the letter A 24 times, like which I think is funny. "Hi, I'm A24. Here at my company, we've had a stranglehold on the market of making good things, and in that we found a gap, a gap that we could be exploring more feverishly. Introducing making bad things." And it's like the list of all the fucking slop that they've shat out recently, like Death of a Unicorn and whatever the other one was. Yeah, that's funny, right? We're really trying to break out of the making good things stranglehold and start making bad things. Oh yeah, okay. So here's just something. So years ago there was this video called something I've never seen. It might have been College Humor, or it was like Newgrounds era, and it was a song, like a comedy song about, he's like, "I've seen literally everything on the internet, literally everything except for a dick in a dick. I've never seen a dick fucking another." Oh boy. "I've never seen a penis inside of another penis, you know?" And they made a song about it. I have seen that. I have seen that, for the record. But what I have never seen, just to bring it back to this humorous anecdote, instead of you now imagining that horror, you hear something that I've never seen anyone do. So you got an ear with an ear piercing, right? And there's no earring in the ear piercing, but you have a pierced ear, and you put a straw with a drink on one side of it, and you put your mouth on the other side of the ear, and it suck through the straw through the ear hole. That seems like a Jackass bit or something that they could do. It's pretty gnarly, pretty gross, and probably like not ideal in terms of infection, you know? Like that could be problematic, but I've never seen that. That's just something I thought of that I've never ever seen. I'm surprised that someone hasn't done it. So that's kind of funny, or gross, or something. I don't know. I tweeted this, but it's so funny to me. Are you guys caught up on The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, The Book of Carol? Dude, TWDD-TBOC is undergoing a seismic shift. Sorry guys, can't hang out. Book of Carol is on tonight. I think I might have done that one already. One more gym ego fantasy, and then we'll get out of here. I have this stupid recurring fantasy where I'm walking out of the gym, like, and someone's walking in, and they go, "Man, I'm jealous. I'm jealous that you are like you're already over. It's already over for you. You already finished your workout." And then I get to go, "Nah, man, I'm jealous of you because you get to do it." Ew. You guys ever have stuff like that where you run through the whole fantasy of having a little moment with someone? That's so gross. Oh man. Again, the same. What's interesting is like the end of there's never an end of the fantasy. The fantasy just ends there. But you know, if I had to think about what would happen, the answer is always the same, in that they just drop to their knees and start sucking me off. They just drop to their knees and start blowing me because of that spontaneous, insightful, really creative, and kind of beautiful thing that I just said. It's really something. I got a really good head on my shoulders, you know? It's impressive. It's impressive. All right. Enough ego fantasies for now. And enough of this bit fishing. I'm going to have to refresh my page. I haven't written a lot of stuff down recently because I started getting into repeats here. I'm going to have to clear this out and put it into my massive... oh, dude. This is brutal. I freaking... Oh, one more thing. I wrote down this acronym that I still don't... It was one of those things where I probably woke up late at night and wrote this down, and then I just don't remember what the fuck I was talking about. FMTAWTMOMY. It definitely is an acronym for something, but I don't remember what it is, unfortunately. Probably cut this because this is uninteresting to everyone but me. Okay, fair enough. I'll cut that. Or maybe I won't. Because I need to stretch time. Stretching time. I think we're over an hour. All right. God love you, Slop Nation. I really appreciate you listening to this. Go watch Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair in theaters, because it is a delight. It is absolutely fantastic. It is insane that Netflix might win over the Warner Brothers deal. That is freaking wild. That's all I got. God love you, Slop Nation. Thank you for listening. See ya in 7 days' time. Bye.